and welcome back down to the crossing at the River Yo, just outside Ripon. And it's an absolutely beautiful day today. And today we're going to be doing some searching of the river. I've got the toys with me today, both ROVs. You can see there, not quite ready to go yet, but I'll get everything connected up soon. What a day. The river's nice and still compared to what it has been. Visibility is fairly clear. I've got my magnet with me today to do a bit of magnet fishing. I've got a scuba diver coming down later on, who's my auntie. She'll be going in with a simple pulse induction metal detector, and really we'll see if we can find any more evidence of what was going on down here. We have got some finds already, which I'll show you later in the video. So yeah, let's crack on. Just messing about with the magnet. I've latched onto what looks like a bit of scaffold pole, or it could be 2-inch water pipe, which I believe back in the day they used to use for scaffolding. Get it a bit closer. Well, let's have a look. A big long length of pipe here. Let's say it could be scaffolding. It's certainly 2-inch stuff. It's quite long. They've also pulled this out. Looks like some sort of fixing. Maybe some sort of brace. There's 2 of the finds so far today. Now, just pulled this out. I have no idea. Looks like some fabric, remains of some fabric on it. Perhaps part of a seat, maybe, on these ends. Quite corroded, but that's one that'll be going back to the workshop to be cleaned up. Yeah, another find. Got Cameron here trying out the new water pump to shift sediment and silt off objects. This is what Cameron managed to find. It's a Elay 410 shotgun shell. Has this strange black powder still on it. That's the bottom of the shell. You can see it's been fired, and these would have probably had a paper or cardboard outer hull to them, unlike the plastic ones that we have today. Now this one, we think it could be something to do with munitions, possibly the top end, the fuse end maybe. We're not quite sure, as with a lot of the stuff that we find, we're still doing more research into it. But if you look at this piece here, that's the very top of it. That hole goes all the way through the body. There is a bit of a taper to it, and it does appear to be heat or fire damaged. This is a view from the bottom of it. As you can see, there's shape inside there. Again, that hole runs all the way through. The outer side of it appears to have melted, maybe, a bit of fire damage to it. And there's a little part that's broke off that I will show you next. This is the piece that broke away when I was cleaning it. Bit of fat finger syndrome probably, but it's definitely metal, as you can tell by the rust. That's another angle of it. Again, it does appear to have the view have been melted slightly, and those lumps around it are concretion that have come off the main body of it. Could this be where it once sat, on the top of a 40mm Bofors shell? I've no idea. By all means, if you have any ideas, feel free to put something in the comments or get in touch and let us know. Oh yeah, and that leads me on to, we found not one but two Bofors anti-aircraft shells in the river. This is the first one that we found, just milling along with the ROV, and that's how I saw it at first. Couldn't understand at first why the ROV wouldn't pick it up, because it just did not register the size, but when it eventually came out, you could say I was, yeah, somewhat excited. There was absolutely no way the poor little ROV was going to pick that up. It's just far, far too heavy for it. So the only option was to drag the poor thing in by the tether. This is the base of one of the shells. You can see the little anchor on it there. That indicates it was a naval shell. That's present on both of them. They were made in 1955 by an Italian company. So how they've ended up over in Ripon is still a mystery. My wife's decided that they make pretty good flower vases, so I'm just not brave enough to argue, so fair enough. Right, scuba diver's in. She's having a look for some finds that I've identified with the ROV, which is currently sat on another target over there. So just having a look, see what we can pull out. I'll update you again shortly. Moved on to the second target now, which we think could be part of a seat frame. Just bringing it up now. We'll see in a minute. Well, that's a bit of a shock. The divers found another bit of scaffold, and it looks like it's got another Mills bracket on the end of it, which I'll show you. Just there. The Mills brackets were used definitely in the 1945 time, but probably earlier. 2-inch pipe again, which would be either gas or water pipe at the time. Now, I mentioned about finding a Mills bracket on a previous dive. This is a 3D scan of what we found. Big lump of rust basically, and we had no idea at the time exactly what it was, so the only option was to get it brought home, get it in the workshop and get a bit of electrolysis done on it. And after a few days in the electrolysis vat, the homemade electrolysis vat, this is the result. I'm pretty pleased with it. You can make out the clamps very, very clearly, and the bits of scaffolding as well, and for some bizarre reason there's a piece of wood hammered into that end and then crushed. Could this have been used by the engineers for building tubular scaffold bridges, which is one of the bridge types that they would have built? Without finding any records, it's just added to another list of mysteries that this area seems to be bringing up. This is one of the smaller finds that we've had. It's a 1938 halfpenny. There's damage to it on both sides, so we're guessing could have been dropped by one of the troops, or it could have fallen out of a local's pocket who's gone for a swim. While exploring around on the riverbed, as we do, we came across some rubbish that we decided we'd get rid of. So our diver started to remove said piece of rubbish, and it led down into the sill, and then we uncovered, well, this. It's another load of metal rods connected at one end to a rather large piece of concrete. And we still, at the moment, have no idea what the function was. We're still guessing that it probably came from when the crossing was in use by the military, but Still not sure. We need to keep looking. As normal, when we're digging in the river, we usually end up some of the locals rather curious to see what we're up to. And we had quite a few pop by this time, just to, you know, mill about and see what we're doing. This is the original artefact that we found in the river, and as you can see there are some similarities, although we haven't excavated the top end yet to see how thick the block is, but they do have a striking similarity. So what do we go from here? Well, all we can do is just keep plugging away, keep investigating and seeing what we find. And just for a bit of comparison, this is the concrete and metal artefact that we found directly in front of the crossing where the vehicles would have entered, and it looks pretty similar to the other two, so that makes 4 of these things that we've found so far. Well, that's not even half of what we found down here at the crossing so far. But I don't want the video to go on for too long. I'm certainly no narrator, so I don't want you to get bored of listening to me rabbit on. But I'll make some more videos of the finds as we go along. Hopefully on the 15th of September we're doing a live dive, probably a search and recovery dive. Some artefacts in the river just down from this site that we want to get out. We'll be using the sonar boat. We'll be using both ROVs more than likely, and we'll have a scuba diver in, and we'll broadcast as much of that live as we can, as long as everything works and does what it should do. It all depends as well on the condition of the river. If it's too murky, it's just pointless. So we'll just have to see how we go. Hope for some good weather over the next couple of weeks, let the rivers clear up a bit. So I hope you found the video interesting. And like I say, there will be more coming of the finds and more of us bimbling about looking for stuff.